Hedric hight a king. His daughter hight Borgny. Her lover hight Wilmund. She could never bear children until Oddrún, Attila's sister, came along. She had once been the betrothed of Gunther, Giuki's son. This poem is about that story. I have heard it said in stories how a maiden went to Mornaland. No one in that lofty land could bestow help on Hedric's daughter. Oddrún, Attila's sister, found out that this maiden had fallen very ill. She hopped onto a black-saddled, rudder-bitted horse and set out from the stable at once. She let the horse go down a smooth trail until she came to a hall in some outskirts. She took the saddle off the hungry horse and she went into the longhouse endwise, and spoke she these words first of all. What unfolds in this part of the earth, or what is happening in Hunland? Quoth a maidservant, Borgny lies here racked with birth pangs. See, Oddrún, if thou canst help thy friend. Quoth Oddrún, any inkling of whose fault this is? Why does Borgny suddenly fall ill? Quoth the maidservant, Wilmund hight her little boyfriend. They have kept each other warm under the blanket for 5 winters now, kept secret from her father. They thought best to speak no more on the matter. She went to sit gently before the maiden's knees. Reek chanted Oddrún, Ram chanted Oddrún, a bitter spell for Borgny. A boy and a girl were born to tread the earthen trail, 2 gentle children for Hogni's bane. The frightfully sick maiden betook to speak, having not uttered a word before this. So may the good people help thee, Hretha and Easter and all the goddesses by whose hands thou fendedst disaster from me. Quoth Oddrún, I never turned away from helping thee, but not because thou wert worthy of it. I swore, and I will uphold what I said back then, that I will always help any way I can when atheling's earths are at stake. Quoth Borgny, Thou art crazy, Oddrún, and out of thy wits, that thou speakest such devastating words to me, when I used to follow thee all over the countryside, as if we were born of 2 brothers. Quoth Oddrún, I still remember what thou saidst that evening, when I was making a drink for Gunther. Thou deniedst it later. Thou saidst that doom which should never befall any maiden ought to befall me alone. Then the sorrowful woman betook to sit down, to tell of the bale wrought by her sore grief. I was brought up in a princely longhouse among wise company. Most would have been over fain, but I never cared for my father's possessions, those first 5 winters, while yet my father lived. That mindful king betook to speak on one last thing ere he died. He bade me be dowered with red gold and given to Grimhild's son down south. Quoth Oddrún, but Brynhild he bade to receive the helmet that he had said should adorn the chosen maid. He said she would always stand 1 ell higher than all other maidens, unless fate had other plans. Brynhild had a sumptuous table set in her bower. She got lads and lands for her own. Earth and heaven shuddered dizzily when Fafnir's bane beheld her tower. Then a walsing sword forged forward a fight, and Brynhild's tower was breached. At first she was far from mistrustful of him, until she came to know his wiles full well. She became dead set on getting revenge. I suppose we all have trials aplenty. Word will spread to every land where Hathel's fair of how she killed herself at Seward's side. But I came to live in love with Gunther, that ring-wielder, as Brynhild should have. Quoth Oddrún, early on he offered red rings and no small compensation to my brothers. He further offered 15 farmsteads for me, and loads of treasure if he could have me. But Attila said he had no mind to ever take anything from Giuki's son. Though we could not fulfill our desires, yet I kept my head around the ring-breaker. Many of my kinsmen spoke up, saying they had seen the 2 of us together, but Attila said I would never plot deceit nor craft lies. But no one must ever deny such a thing before another, not when true love is concerned. Attila sent his messengers into Mirkwood to spy on me, and they came where they should not have come, when the 2 of us were sharing a blanket. Quoth Oddrún, we offered the thanes red rings that they might not tell Attila, but they hurried quickly home and told Attila right away. But they hid the full story from Gudrún so that she should only know the half of it. The clattering of gilded hooves was heard when Giuki's earths rode into the yard. Hogni's heart was cut out, and the other was put into the snake pit. I was out and about at the time, on the way to Garmund's to brew drink. The clever king betook to play the harp, for he thought, that Athel king, that I would come through to help him. I heard it all the way from ᚷᚱᛏᛏᚨᚉ, how the strings feebly struggled to sound. I bade a maidservant get ready to go. I wanted to save the chief's life. Quoth Oddrún. We floated a boat across the sound until I saw all of Attila's walls. Then the wretched hag Attila's mother, may she rot, came striding out, and dug into Gunther's heart so that there was no saving him from her. I have often wondered how I was able, afterwards, to keep holding on to life, for I feel that I loved that unflinching sword-wielder like I do my own life. Thou sattest and listenedest while I told thee the many ills of my lot, and of their lots. Everyone lives according to their own will. Now Oddrún's lament is over.